There we go. Alright, and we should be on.
Woo!
So, hey guys, Ben here from Second Dynasty. We are coming at you live from Sunnyhold, Sweden.
Hello!
Yeah, it was sunny earlier, it's not really very sunny right now.
No.
We have done a little bit of an upgrade this week, so bear with us. We have added an additional microphone to AlBen's spot. I'm not sure if you can see it on the close-up, but yeah, it's just poking up there. And then we have also increased the fidelity of my camera. And apparently we needed the ceiling light on, but we also have played around with the settings a little bit so we could get the right refresh rate, so we're not getting the flickering that we've had. So hopefully a little bit better quality overall. I think we'll still have a pretty shitty quality when we show AlBen's screen because that's shared over Discord, but still, yeah, we're getting there somewhat. So yeah, today we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We have, of course, been working hard this week. Aside from on Wednesday, I treated the staff here to a screening of June because I want that thing to succeed. What did you think, AlBen?
Awesome.
Alright, no spoilers, but yeah, it's exciting to see the same kind of feedback. So if I zoom out a little bit, this might be a ship some people will get a little bit excited about. So this is the Gazelle. Of course, this is Ian's base model that we've taken and imported in, and then of course John. Hey John.
Oh, is it echoing?
Is it?
John is saying very echo.
Oh, okay. Wait, that shouldn't... I mean, we do have two microphones in the same room, so maybe it's that, but there shouldn't really be any latency.
It's very difficult to hear as...
I'm echoing. Okay, I don't know. They're both being fed through my system, so I don't know what to tell you.
Weird.
Wait, John? Okay. Let me see. We were trying to set this up beforehand, so I'm just going to double check that. Okay, that, and then do we have these set to the same microphones? It should be right. I don't know what's going on. Maybe maybe I need to turn the sensitivity down on one of these. I don't know.
John thinks I might be picking you up.
All right. So is this better? This is just with one microphone. Let's see. Okay, and let's try with the second microphone. So which one is better? Slightly better. We've only got one microphone on. Second is better. All right, but can you also talk, AlBen?
Yeah, sure. Don't know what the hell I'm supposed to say, but great to see you guys at least.
Okay. All right. So, but AlBen's a little bit quieter now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's why we have two microphones. That's why we have two microphones.
Can I tune it like here, perhaps? If I turn it down a little bit?
I don't know. I would need to turn mine back on. So yeah, maybe your microphone is too sensitive.
It might be so, yeah.
Two seemed okay to you. All right. Maybe John's being picky.
Huh.
We'll see. Well,
yeah.
We'll go with this because more than anything, you guys need to hear us.
Yeah, that's a good thing, I would think.
Yeah. It could also be like I need to put some priority on. Yeah. Okay. Where was I? I forgot completely.
All right, we have
nothing to contribute today. Oh, we were just talking about June being good, and then we were talking about the chat and fiddling with the microphones. So, hopefully, yeah, we need to fine tune it a bit. We were actually stress testing it, like as we were meant to be.
Not in a usual sense that you stress test things when you are almost done with the concept. More like we were stressed and tried it out.
We were stressed from testing.
Yeah.
When we were supposed to be live. So. Funnily enough, I did have things sort of organized like a good half hour beforehand for all the video and everything, but of course it's like last minute. Oh yeah, microphones.
God.
All right. So yeah, John has cleaned up this mesh. It was made by the wonderful Ian Stead, of course, and I'm in the process of converting this to something that should be printable. I'm kind of hoping I have something done by the time I go home today, but I do have to go home a bit earlier. Like I have to leave 5 latest, because it's my mother-in-law's birthday, and it's a bit of a drive. So yeah, I've got to rush back home. So I was hoping to have this on the printer. It may still happen. Maybe the front part will be there. Maybe we will have to wait until Monday. But in any case, this ship has been a surprise for me because I thought from the look of it, it was much bigger. But it's not. Also, yesterday we played Cepheus Traveller and it was awesome. Because we managed in our Beowulf, which is souped up to a maneuver to jump to... we managed to get it face off against a 400-ton ship, and we ended up winning the fight because we just got advantage on everything and shot out their weapons and
nice.
Embarrassed them really. We renamed their enemy vessel to Grendel. So that's how well it went. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. I mean, AlBen wasn't a part of that either. He's not in that particular gaming group, just in the D&D group. But yeah, so I've been working on this week. I've also been working on this week, and AlBen has been working on some things as well.
Yeah.
So actually, I should turn that off now, and maybe you should share your screen so we can see yours.
Yeah,
sure.
As well. Yeah, sure.
We have some prints to show you guys. We have 3 releases this week. They're all currently up, and I'll go over them momentarily. So there we go, your screen sharing. I'm just going to pop that out, and then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to put this over there, and you guys will see how blurry it is. But AlBen, why don't you take it away and talk about the first add-on?
Yay!
What? No, now I'm seeing, yeah.
The actual...
Alright, yeah, I saw all, we all saw all of that, so hopefully, in any case...
Okay, so what you see in front of you, and you just need to do some adjustments here, there we go, are an array of turret add-ons. So these guys are going to be able to... they are supposed to look like the original concept art for the turrets of the scout ship. We have had some different illustrations that we used as a what do you call it? Yeah, a reference basically. So I've been making blank turrets that have like an age sprint, I'm calling it for the moment, because it looks kind of like an age in profile if you turn it like that. So yeah, never mind.
And this is kind of like already something that we've used on a clip. So this is just a way to eliminate the clip.
Yeah, exactly.
Essentially, so it's getting away a little bit from OpenLock, maybe.
Yeah. The reason for this is that you have this base plate, and I mean it's difficult to print such a low profile geometry. You wouldn't really want to print it upside down, like, oh fuck, sorry. If you have these two things, they are supposed to be together like that. Here we go. So this is supposed to be like a blank turret, and if you would to print it like this, you would get a good set of teeth on that connection ring, but every detail that ends up on the actual turret is going to be compromised. So we had to do like a bi-part solution where you slide it in on that age clip, or whatever you call it.
Yep.
So this turret works like that you slide that one in, and then you slide this turret piece from this side onto it like that.
Yeah.
And this one is also exchangeable with the Sandcaster add-on. So these turrets also from the illustrations as well.
They Traveller 5.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So they work on the same principle. The other turrets, on the other hand, have a lot more volume, so we can still use the internal structure to make a similar clip hole that we would use in the original Sega Dynasty turrets. So they are basically I'm not sure if they are completely the same scale, but they are use the same technique basically.
I think they are. I think we've used a standard turret ring that we've perfected over the course of 4 different ships. Of course, the caveat with these turrets are that the T5 designs don't seem to be graphically functional. So the compromise here is that unfortunately the barrels are not posable. You can still rotate it 360 degrees, but they're sort of like in an action pose. I don't know if we'll ever go back and take a look at that again. It creates an issue of room and where things are meant to rotate and whatnot. So this is something we did mention from the get-go. So these are now live on my mini factory, so you can go and check it out. There's a missile launcher.
So there are actually 2 different kind of missile launchers, as I've understood it. So you have this what I would consider an ordinary launcher. We have a ramp. So I made like a sliding clip here that you connect to the chassis of the turret.
Yep.
Then there is also missile barrels. Kind of interesting concept. I don't really understand it why it is like this, but they are supposed to be some sort of barrel that shoots missiles as well. So these are connected by what do you call it? Friction. So you would just it's not oriented to the plate at this moment, but you would just pop it in like that. And it is kind of a tight fit as well. It worked very nicely. I have an example right here.
Let me make that bigger for everyone.
Oh, I can just move closer as well, perhaps.
Can you demonstrate removing it and putting it in?
So you have a empty slot right here, and then you grab your insert, like this is a dual barrel insert, and then you would just let's see. I can't see what I'm doing as well.
You could turn it towards you.
I
Okay,
could do
so
that.
can you move that upside down or just shake it or something?
Shake it.
Yeah, like there we go. So it stays in place.
It's very
nice.
solid. It's
Yeah.
almost difficult to get apart.
I kind of like that. And of course, when you put a coat of paint on it as well, it will get even tighter if you do need some more. I like the snapping.
Thank you. I like it as well.
So that sort of brings me to the second release. Or wait, I'm not showing the screen again at the moment. There we go. So yeah, there's quite a few different variants in there, and we have test printed them, and we'll be showing that off in a little bit.
Yep.
I figure it's best to wait until we discuss. Oh yeah, and I also need to open up yet another copy of Maya. I'll do that after I've previewed the work this week. So we actually, despite spending an afternoon basically going to a different town and watching Dune yet again, which is very inspirational, mind you.
Holy shit, god damn it was glorious.
We actually have had a very productive week, and we are whittling away at our goals. We realise that we can't forget about the Type S 15mm. We haven't done a static version of the landing gear, so we'll probably want to do that, because at the moment it does work on resin, but we haven't tested it on FDM, so we need some kind of FDM solution there.
Yep.
And our print's done in FDM as well, so.
Yep.
John, of course, has been assisting these last couple of weeks on cleaning up some meshes. A man of many talents, John. I believe today he's going to be working on converting, using a back-end tool that we're really excited about, to create a version of the Type S, our Type S, the second Dynasty version, which is going to be one of the miniatures we're featuring in this mini campaign we're going to have. Mini campaign. Pun not intended, but it is a bit of a pun. We have these time variants. They're currently on My Mini Factory. You can download them now. We don't have any instructions right now, but they are fairly straightforward, especially if you've just watched this, I think. Speaking of instructions, I did do a short video today for those who still struggle to find their stuff on My Mini Factory. That's on our YouTube channel. So if you're struggling to remember where your files are, that will point you in the right direction. Yes, John is taking our Type S and turning it into a miniature. And of course, in the chat we also have Mikitron, or Mikkel, who has completed the Airraft variants. I'm not sure if we showed them off completely. I did do some renders, so maybe I can find the renders that were mostly for instructions. Let's see, if I go in here, we want to go back to images, then add-ons, and then, yeah, it's pretty simple stuff, but we have the coupe version, so basically the 4-seater. We have the pickup version, which is our little tray back ute, utility vehicle, in the US known as a pickup truck, or a lorry in the UK. And then we have the saloon, which is sort of like a more stretched version, 4-seater, so more comfortably paced. And there are a few extra replacement parts for some like old style, an old style nose, I believe, that are also included. So these are the instructions that we have at the moment. They're not like in deck design or anything at this point in time, but these are just basically to show you how to put it together. They use 4 clips each, and the rest of them just sort of fit into place due to the engineering that's been done. So I think Mikitron has done a fantastic job. Hopefully we'll partner up with him again in some future projects when we return to doing vehicles. And yeah, that's those ones. So then we can get to the other thing I've been doing this week is working heavily on the cockpit of the, let's see, I've disabled some of these layers. There we go. The cockpit of the Beta Centauri is now more or less done. So you can kind of see the detail that we've gotten into this. I'm looking forward to test printing it. This part is now fully printable. It was a challenge to sort of fit on. It was originally in 2 pieces, but now it's going to fit. We're just using these sliding clip holes, so you'll actually be able to do a motion kind of like this to slide it into place, which I feel is kind of like appropriate for what it is. So yeah, that's the main thing I've done. It's mostly detail work. I probably only put a day into this to finish it up, but we have you know, quite a bit of paneling. We've got some cushioning on the ceiling. I haven't gone all out on detail on the ceiling because you're not really going to see it, but there's still like more than nothing. So I'm quite sure if you you know, printed this piece in resin or something, you know, that would really pop. And then like you can see the whole detailing here. It's sort of like small enough that it doesn't make the rest of the ship feel like it doesn't fit in. Like it still fits in, even though there's like a little bit more detail in the plating here. You zoom out, and it doesn't feel like, oh, this section's definitely more noisy than the rest of the ship, right? It's kind of balanced. So yeah, this is still gonna be quite a few weeks away, although there are more and more pieces that are printable, and I think that's what I'm going to focus on next week when I get my time with this, that we want to get it so it's they're starting to be printable parts. I'm wondering if people would like to see the parts, since it takes so long to print anyway, if they want to see some of the parts ahead of time, or if they'd rather wait till a full release is available. That would be interesting to hear. So I'm just going to save this real quick, and I'm going to switch over to, we need to switch the project to Traveler 1 there, and then we need to open our stretch goals project. So this might take a little bit of time, we'll see. Yeah, Mikitron, we're happy with the work, mate. Looks great. You want to buy a 3D subtraction printer?
Subtraction printer?
Yeah, I guess it would be like a CNC machine.
Yeah, that makes sense, but
I'm open to printing as we go, assuming those parts are locked in. I don't really want to I don't want to commit to that 100%. My work on the stretch goals this week has been AlBen spent quite a bit of time working on the turrets there and getting them finished up, and then has moved on to the cargo.
Yeah.
So we might show. Do we have much to show on it, or should we just?
I mean, I can just
I'm not
talk a
yet.
little bit about my design process or something, I guess.
Alright, well, have a think about that while I show off the airlocks. So this has also been released today. So we have new airlock placements or options, quite a number of variants. I think the only thing we don't have mirrored is I've only built like a left-hand side upper hull airlock at this point in time. If there's a demand, we could mirror it to the other side, but this part would need fixing on the other side as well. Although I suppose there are some versions of the Type S where the airlock is on this side, but those tend to be quite a variant. So yeah, we have this airlock in the floor. There's actually two different what's the word I'm looking for? Irises, a top and a bottom one. They're not super highly detailed. We'll show you the physical prints though. We have actually printed these. So we have a floor one. This side one I like quite a bit because if we just move this up and we remove that, so we've got a tiny little airlock there. It's not very big. It's quite claustrophobic, but I figured if you want the Type S to float, it makes sense if you're going to have an upper hull airlock. If it's not going to be right on the top, then you want something that's still above the waterline, right?
The blasted camouflage said, "I love the airlock and the floor. If you walk into the cockpit and the pilot has a big black mustache, you're in trouble."
Yes, indeed. I mean, they're all options. I personally don't like that placement for that exact reason, but I have seen versions of it where if it's not on this floor, it's just a bit further up the hallway and you've got the same issues anyway. So ideally maybe there's like a hatch that sits on top of it that you can walk on easily or something like that. But in any case, the point here was to provide some options, and here we have like 3 new airlock positions. So yeah, that is released as well in the stretch goal. So we're at stretch goal 0.5 at the moment. We did find an issue with the back end of the power core. We need to update that. We haven't done that yet. So
one of my early sins, I would think.
Yeah, it's probably just something that's gotten overlooked. You can fix it by just running it through NetFab and Prusa Slicer in the time being, if you are having issues with it. We do want to fix that, but I think due to the fact that we've got a little bit less time this week, I will probably wait until Monday to actually do an update, and we'll put it in there. But yeah, if you want the airlocks, the T5 turrets, or the air rafts, they're all released, so you can just go and download them. So with the caveat that we don't have any instructions at this point in time. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. So did you want to walk them through the cargo and what you're thinking of the cargo?
It is very
rudimentary.
Rudimentary. That's a really good word.
We're
Thank
sharing
you.
your screen right now.
Awesome. Hey Dom.
Hey Dom.
Okay, so that's the wrong scene. Here we go. We got some cargo since earlier, and I think a few of these are perhaps cargo that we have used in other campaigns, I guess. So they are not completely new, are they?
No, I think we premiered most of those actually with the Chimera.
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is that I've been looking at these guys a little bit. They look kind of interesting.
Well, yeah, and the smaller ones here in the middle, those are actually new. So the ones that are cubic and that have the cylinders in there, sort of like
gas canisters and stuff like that. Yeah. They look really interesting. So that's stuff that Ben has been working on since earlier. what I've been doing is I've been cross-referencing with, let's see where you are. Oh, hello there, it's us! Wah!
What is going on? There's even more of me.
Okay, so I've been looking at the encyclopedia for Traveler and checking out the cargo containers. So there are like, I don't know, 10 different variations. And there are, I think it is 3 different sizes that you use as standard cargo, basically. So they are based on a 3x3 square, basically.
Meter.
Yeah.
Meter, not squares.
Not,
2x2.
oh, it's
3x3
squared. Yeah, I'm confusing concepts here. But this would be a basic volume of a standard cargo container. So I've been looking a little bit on the dimensions and the different way they are constructed. So they are like general purpose and sealed and stuff like that. I've been starting to rattle my brains a little bit about how they are going to work. I've been, let's see now, can you do...
That didn't pop up.
That's weird. 2.6.
Is it on the other screen maybe?
Here we go. Why can't I... So this is a very interesting program called PureRef, I think. So you can just drag and drop images that you find on the internet and stuff like that, and just pop it onto a canvas for inspiration. So you can just move it around, and I think it uses some sort of Linux commands to interact with it. So you hold down right click to basically anywhere on the screen to move it around. So you can use it like a palette almost. So I've been thinking about, okay, we want to make something that is kind of basic, but also a bit futuristic as well. So what I'm thinking is that I am going to try to replicate similar doors to these ones, because they have like these rough edges that I kind of vibing with, that looks sturdy, and they have also kind of simple geometric shapes and functions to them. So I don't want to get too crazy, because it might be a low tier technology container basically. So I'm just going to mash together different ideas, and I'm doing some sketches as well for what we want to use basically. So I'm getting some references, and I'm using the earlier versions. I want to try to make different versions of this myself.
Basically to make them a little bit more interesting, because the ones we've inherited that are illustrated in T5 are extremely basic, and we just want something that's going to pop when you print it in 3D.
Exactly. So if you were to look at the reference, for example, you have, it's a box with texture on it.
And actually most of the details on this box are painted on versus actually built into
it's not a geometry or anything like that.
Yep.
Yeah. So we are going to try to do something simple but with interesting details on it. With
Craig,
doors and stuff like that.
You said it, mate.
Oh? What he said?
No, he just said
Ah!
So
okay.
That's
sorry.
The check-in that we're going to do. I've switched over to my mind now, so you don't stress out about all those windows. You're giving people panic.
Oh, yeah.
Do you need to have that many tabs open? John wonders.
Yes, it's crucial for my work. I promise. It is not something that's wrong with me. Not at all.
AlBen, before we leave
yes.
altogether and we focus on the Gazelle, which is what I'm going to be working on today, would you mind picking up your camera and just showing them what we've got on our, what we're calling our stretch goal Type S. So again, our painted Type S, that was our production, not our production version, our prototype version. So we actually did a production version, which, I'm going to wait a second. You're just going to walk around carefully. We'll see. It feels like because your hand's in front of the camera that you're trying to hide something.
I might be trying to hide something. That is not my personal parts.
Alright, let's... Oh, God. So here we go.
It's a bit chaotic here, though.
Yeah, we can only see like the back end of it right now. There we go. I know it's hard for you to see. So we've got the snub nose on. We have got the landing gear alternatives there with the wheels.
And there's a potpourri of different landing gears there as well.
Potpourri of landing gears. We have the winglets, of course. We have one of the new turrets. That's the Gatling turret.
The Gatling turret! The good thing is
So
that you can just take this one out.
And put a missile on.
And put in a missile! Where are you at, Mr. Missile? There we go. Pew pew!
Very nice. So yeah, I like the way that changes the profile of the ship. But the other thing you'll notice is that the airlocks are on.
Oh, they are freaking sexy.
So yeah, we haven't resin printed any of those. So maybe you want to just take off the top.
Oh, it's a big top.
Yeah, but whichever top you can get off.
Let's see. Here we go.
Alright, so you can kind of see it there in action. We're missing a couple of floor tiles there, and you can see the walls are just some of the prototype pieces. But yeah, there we have where I haven't actually printed out a lower airlock. So there are variants where you can include the lower airlock and the side airlock both together, or just one or the other. So most variants are possible. And you can always mirror that other side there. Technically, you can mirror the top of that too. I think it's just that there's some detailing on the actual top that would mirror as well, like that sensor on the side that's a little bit offset. So
you're thinking about the hole?
is it just Edovo? Is it just me, or is the front alternative landing gear missing a part? I don't think so. It's just turned. The wheels turned.
Yeah, the wheels have turned. It's my turn now.
There we go.
Oh, it's disconnected here as well.
Right, wouldn't it actually be... Yeah, anyway. Cool.
So-
DGP Traveller artwork rocked. I think I know which one you're talking about. But what's the DGP? GURPS, is it? I don't know. I thought the Mega Traveller stuff was pretty good. But yeah, that's thank you, AlBen, for exploring that.
You're very welcome.
Right, he can get back into position. Digest group publication. Okay, so is that like the magazine stuff? Maybe, Craig.
Ooh, that would
Anyway,
be
Craig,
sweet.
your new ship's looking interesting. Looking forward to seeing more of that on our forums, of course. I think I've got some links here that I normally put into videos, so I could actually drop that. Let's see, do we have a Discord link? No, we don't. It says go to our webpage, so you can go to our webpage to get our social media links if you haven't seen our stuff before. I don't like to spam the chat and whatnot. Mad Scientist AlBen pops out. Alright, so if you take over the chat reading stuff, you can work, and we're going to take more of a look at this bad boy. Like, after the last gaming session, I kind of want this ship as a player ship. It's not really a player ship because it's not a cargo mover, but yeah, I've got some lighting in this scene so you guys can actually see. I still need to mirror some stuff. I don't know yet if we're going to include its shuttle from the get-go. This is probably something that will not print in the initial version, the prototype. So,
John just commented here that the bottom ship is not manifold. But he think he might.
Yeah, but I mean, this is pretty straightforward to just like recreate. So, I mean, nothing's manifold at the moment anyway, because I've cut it all up again. So John just basically cleans up the mesh, and then I go and add in some more paneling and details so that we can kind of get the look. Let's see, I think I have some artwork from Ian that we're going after, right? So this is the Gazelle. I think it's the Gazelle, but it's just cut off there because I took a screenshot. So yeah, we're trying to get some of this paneling back in. It won't be like a perfect replica, but pretty close. So I've got most of the front section done. Now we're working on the aft. So this is where I was at right before we rang in. So we'll be probably combining this today. This will be a Boolean sort of operation. I have mirrored everything, but actually I'm only working on one side at a time. Let's see, DGP produced Traveller stuff under license. They pretty much wrote Mega Traveller. Okay. They stiffed their artists and their relationships with GDW fell apart in a rather unpleasant fashion. Oh, that's the worst thing. I think art contributes so much to capturing like the spirit of a setting. And you know, if you're not playing something like Star Wars where it's like self-evident, like anyone can pick up a Star Wars game and they know what they're getting into, right? Anyone can pick up Lord of the Rings and know what they're getting into, or even D&D, like you know what those fantasy tropes are. But for unfamiliar stuff, art makes the game, and that's something that I think homegrown role-playing games in Sweden do exceptionally well. If you've seen anything from Fria Ligan or
I'm thinking about this is called Symbarum.
Symbarum, Mutant, Kult.
Oh yeah.
There's a rich. I think, just like with music, Sweden actually punches above its weight when it comes to role-playing games. But if you pick up those books, they have beautiful designs. They employ layout artists, which is super important, I feel. But the artwork is absolutely amazing and inspiring, and you can sort of like put yourself in that world by just looking at the artwork.
Blasted Camouflage is saying, so the type S on the bottom is not to scale. Just notice the door on the side.
The type S on the bottom is not to scale.
I'm not sure
That's
it's
not
a type S. No, it's
not a type S at all. And in fact, that's something I wanted to get back to because, Craig, do you know what length this is supposed to be? I think Ian said 48 meters. I sort of looked at the deck plans that I could find for it, and it looked more like 45 meters.
Craig just said most old Traveller artwork is dreadful.
Well, I know it is. I would even say most. Some recent stuff is not
better.
Well, let's just say T5 in particular prioritizes content over artwork, which is more bang for your buck. But I think it appeals more to people that are already interested in travel. If you want to capture new audiences, then you've got to kind of inspire them. It's also why Dune is so fucking awesome, because it's a work of art. The movie. Right?
Holy shit.
Let's see. Okay, so
it's so beautiful.
Looking at the panels here, it looks like we don't want to go for that. We can do these at the same time, and we're just doing the same old extrusion job, right? Local translate 0.1, offset 0.1. The scale is important because this paneling is to the system scale. Okay, so I've already shrunk this down to what length it should be if it was about 45 meters. And stuff was kind of okay, I guess. Kind of okay. I mean, if you look at how much work is done, I'm very interested and curious to see what he's going to manage to accomplish now that he's looking into Blender.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of the issues with SketchUp will fade
into darkness.
I don't know if into darkness is quite right, but I think there'll be much better meshes, and
I mean, I'm not sure what the ship was, but he did some Blender work on a new ship that looked really cool, I think.
Yeah, I was impressed how well it looked. So it just goes to show that, you know, a lot of the principles are there. I don't know if it's polygonal modeling or just using basic geometric objects. 48 meters.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See, I wonder why those measurements are not on the Traveller Wiki. I find that so frustrating.
Hmm.
The only one I've seen with actual measurements written on its wiki page is the Far Trader. Let's see. Get my art up again. So I'm just looking at the paneling where we're getting lines, and I'm sort of just like, this is actually a bit more rounded in that version, but I think the boxiness is not really an issue. We could even go there, I think, and there, why not? No, not those ones. So basically, and actually no, I'm not going to do those panels, I'll just do the side. So what I'm doing here is we're keeping the faces apart so that it just takes every individual quad, and then when we look at this and we're just looking at from different angles, this is where I put the lighting into so we can sort of see the shading a bit better. We just want these panel lines to lift so they do look 3D. Did a ton of work in the nose yesterday, but for something that I only started working on yesterday, I'm impressed with how quick this went. So John, as far as things are concerned here, this one was a very quick conversion. We haven't done the back.
Speaking on the paneling, Shadow Liger is saying that the hard edges from the Gazelle is scratching his sci-fi itch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I take it that's a good itch. Right. So yeah, I've already decided where I'm going to. This will have 3 sections. The last week when we did the subsidized liner, we divided it up into 3 sections. Actually, I don't know if did I show the printed version of that. We've got this done now. So I actually cheated to put in the support. This is going to need a much bigger base than the one I actually used. So sorry I don't have this set up to actually make my camera bigger because I'm used to having a really shitty resolution. But and we haven't used the tight clip, so there is a slight bit of a gap. But you can see that it does have its little friend on the bottom. It's a little sanitary product of a ship. Yeah, I thought it came out pretty well. And of course that's FDM, so resin would look even nicer.
How many parts is that miniature in? Microtron wonders.
3.
3 parts.
So yeah, to hold it up again, this first section's here, second there, third there, and if you technically want to count it, the base would also be a part. But like I said, that would not be the base that we would use. Of course, this isn't the tactical version. The tactical version will be much smaller. I haven't decided yet if we're going to do the tactical versions up front or if that's something we're going to just put out afterwards. I also wonder which one of these ships would be ideal to test print. I'm thinking maybe our Type S because it's not new. Because I think we should release something that's, you know, free for people to test print. So these lower parts of the ship, I don't know if we've got any images for that. I do have a Photoshop file that I took off Ian's site. So we do have this version. I've actually increased the contrast because the darker areas are very hard to interpret. So yeah, this helps with some of the paneling, although the versions aren't exactly the same. So here I'm mostly just following what feels natural at this point, and also keeping in mind the printing and scale. Okay, so here's an example of how the model looked in the beginning with these sort of like, I guess they're for deflecting engine wash, right? Not that there should be engine wash in Traveller, but what I've done is actually thickened up this part significantly, and that's because at the scale we're going to print out, if we look down here, it says 162.00832. That's the amount of millimeters that the length of the ship will be, approximately. So it will probably actually end up being closer to 17 centimeters if it is 48 meters that it's supposed to be. So I will scale up a little bit, but that'll just make the all of the paneling actually pop a little bit more than it already is.
Check the type as Discord channel. Okay.
And for the landing gear. Oh.
What?
Is there a cylinder or something that connects them?
There is supposed to be a. I can show it here. Perhaps if I don't crush something.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to be.
Missing a part after all.
Yeah. So
Okay.
this piece is supposed to be there as well.
Yeah. Let me.
It's like a shaft. That you.
We must have missed that. We'll make sure that we update that before we leave today.
Mm.
So I'm only gonna go for another 13 minutes or so because I don't want to be late today, but we will try and get that piece fixed. So by the looks of things, yeah, we're not gonna get this done today, but I reckon maybe Monday I'll have this being test printed Monday night. I really like this design. It just is cool. And then it has these nasty looking turrets. That might be more of a challenge at this scale. They are a bit larger than our other ones. We're going to increase the barrel size on these because that won't turn up. I mean, I think these are about the same size and they're off the... very hard to see, but these are the ones for the mercenary cruiser, right? So these technically belong on the sides there. And I'd say they're a similar size to the ones that we're going to have when printed. So these barrels, they're just going to be too small. We need to have something more abstract and larger and also fill in the holes. So that's going to be an issue here as well, probably. So it will probably look a little chunky, a little bit more stubby. This being 48 meters, I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities. But it would be very heavy. It would be very heavy. So I don't know. I'm not saying anything. I don't know. We would really need to see better performance of the Beowulf for us to get to this. So we would be talking years away in any case because I think the Far Trader would be something people would be interested in before this kind of ship because it's just so large. Assuming we haven't expanded our team by that point, so
yeah.
It all depends.
Let's see here. Microtron is saying that he really liked the cockpit on the large nose. Looks beefy.
It does.
Yeah. Chunky boy.
It does. So that
Brawly dude.
it's looking good. I feel like I think it's just a cool looking ship, and I wouldn't say that about all traveler ships.
Yeah.
There are some that like I mean the cylindrical ones are like function over form, right? But this is like both form and function.
That's kind of interesting with the Dune movie, I think. There are a few cylindrically shaped or very geometrically shaped spacecrafts, but they look very... I can't really explain it. They are simple in a way, but they look really nice.
It kind of has a 40k sort of vibe to it. Well, not surprisingly, since 40k is a rip-off of Dune in the beginning, but like, it feels like the people that fly these ships don't necessarily know how they work anymore.
Oh yeah.
That's kind of like the vibe. They just do.
The technology is heretical.
I wouldn't go so far as to say that, but
in 40K
it has that kind of feeling that like technology is not something for the... It would be a shitty universe to live in. Anyway, I think we can talk more about Dune when it's released in the US and people have had a chance to look at it.
And you should really do. It's awesome.
Everyone should do it so that we can...
At least once in the life.
At least so they complete Dune. I would like Messiah to be thrown in there too. They reckon it's going to be a 3-parter, but quick. I keep doing the wrong thing there. Alright, so I'm just looking at this real quick and looking at the references. We're trying to block out this, right? I'm just going to close this extra copy of Maya. Don't think we need to save. Just because I keep clicking on it.
So Craig, you said earlier that Ian has, with his design, massively improved the look of the Gazelle or other artworks as well, previously produced, and the original looked like something from black and white cinema, Buck Rogers.
Well, I don't think you're wrong there.
He also he did put up a let's see, a reference photo. Traveler General. Let's see now. Where are you at?
Traveler General there. Yeah. I've been looking at these sort of references all day. I can open that and then I can get it separate and we can put it over here. So this is the version, yeah.
Ha! That is very different.
It is. And
very sparse. Yeah. The weird thing is that I kind of like it as well, in a weird way. I can't really explain it though.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But
It's
like, Ian's version 2 looks like it's a much more massive ship somehow. But I think it is because, you know, its shuttle looks very Type S-like. And so it would be very easy to assume that this is like, if the Type S is like 37 meters, that this thing is like 80, maybe 100.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's doing it.
But do you know what that shuttle is called? The one that's the additional one.
I don't, but I'm willing to bet Craig does.
Craig, help us, please.
So yeah, this will be a slight variant because we can't. Well, we could try and make it as faithful as possible to Ian's design, but I think it just, there's so many variants of these ships, and that's something that, you know, Mark himself has been adamant about, that, you know, like, my Type S is just a variant of all the many Type S's that they've made, so it all fits in. Like, every single version of the Type S you see is canon, which is cool. So yeah, I really enjoyed that, and he's put me in touch with some other traveler artists and authors and stuff, and yeah, it's a nice community.
Yeah.
Where am I? I'm here. So we're in this section here. It's getting a bit tight. I've just done this a little bit more shallow, so that it'll be easy to pick up this line along the hull when you're painting it, because it'll be slightly indented. We're going to integrate this soon-ish, but it's going to be a Boolean operation, and when we do the Boolean we're going to lose this other side, so I figure we may as well detail the engine sections for another 5 minutes. Woo! So yeah, next week we're going to do the show at the same time as usual, but the week after, AlBen actually is going to have started working Thursdays, at least temporarily, right? So we may switch the show to Thursdays after that point to avoid the Friday attrition issues of being quite, you know, tired, and hopefully our energy levels should be a bit higher. And also sharpen the hull on occasion, even though, like, you'll see the chamfering here. When we zoom out, it's really not noticeable, but we get our sharp edges in, and this is like the best meter of sort of like figuring out the shape of the ship. I'm wondering, I don't know if Ian is in the crowd or anything, but I'm wondering if this is meant to be tapered that much there, or if it's like a side effect. It looks almost like some of this was sliced out for that shuttle to be there. In any case, we'll probably get that feedback. John's getting hugs all of a sudden. What's all that about?
That tapering is probably for the jig as it looks.
It looks like that, but the
forward.
jig is in the position where the jig's supposed to be, I suppose. So why? But this isn't the same jig. Oh, did Craig say what it is?
Yeah, that I used
Ian's version of a M1 Abrams, or the turret. Maybe he's talking
He's saying that he thinks he's probably wrong on that.
Oh well, let's see. So we have these vents. This is where it gets a bit hard to see the details, and this is why sometimes I import the images into Photoshop and increase the. See here you can't tell because that's there, right? So vents, that's all painted on. So yeah, basic simple paneling. I think we want. So I think we can go.
He's
Grab these.
worked it out in his fiery class. Oh, fiery. Not sure how you pronounce it.
Fieri.
Sounds
Fiery.
Italian.
I'm thinking of that.
Sister ship of the Gazelle, apparently.
The barbecue dude, Guy Fieri.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Probably not that guy.
Probably not. Fieri in space. Sounds like a bit of a challenge to have a barbecue in space, though. Unless you're using like a star or something, I guess. It's pronounced Fieri. John. Let's see now. Could the shuttle be pulled back to allow access to airlock without detaching the shuttle? This camouflage.
Oh, we're not gonna play with the design.
We're not gonna play with the design. I see.
If we built like a 28mm version of it, that's when we would put our own little
Twists and turns.
twist onto it. If we were going to do that, but I don't know. For these other ships that where Ian's designs are the definitive. Seems to be the definitive version in T5 at least. It makes more sense to start with these designs maybe in the future.
Do some.
Not to mention, he's put in all this hard work, so it feels better if he's along for the ride.
Yeah.
Alright, we're coming up on our time now. I enjoy doing this, guys. I wish I had more time today. We might add back in that triangle too that we can kind of just barely see up the back. That's the kind of thing we can just do a bit of simple geometry. We've got one there, right? Actually, I don't... Oh, there we have an issue we need to fix. I thought I addressed that. Okay, alright. So essentially what I would do to address this is I'll take this out again and we'll just go grab that. This will be our last little thing for today, I think. And then we just want to go align this all to that, and then if we match that, we reorient so that is oriented to that, and then we go like that, and then we're just going to repair. Oh, look at that, that looks perfect. Even if I do say so myself. Much nicer. Now if we zoom out again, that's going to feel like it fits a lot better. So I'm trying to create these little crevices that are going to, capture the paint so you can do some nice shading and that sort of thing. So technically if you just do a single color, then shade and dry brush, with like white or some lighter color, you should be able to get a fairly good effect just based on the geometry of the actual ship itself. That at least is the idea. We have yet to paint these. That will probably be happening in the next couple of weeks. I'd like to get in touch with the local painter, but there is a risk that I will have to do it myself. Or find someone here to do it if they have time. So alright, we're going to leave things at that. You can see that we have put a bit of more paneling on here. Not quite finished. I think another, day to fully get this printable, at least in 1 to 270 scale. We do need to rescale it slightly, going up probably about 5% or so. So it will be slightly bigger. I'm looking forward to getting this one printed. I think it's going to look great. Thanks guys for being with us. John, I want you back on the show soon so you can show us maybe your process a little bit and talk about the stuff we're going to do new in Deck Designer coming up, especially this automated process of getting the
manifolds, or
converting the our Type S to a printable miniature. I think that's something that people will be interested in.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
In any case,
he's apparently also a excellent 0.5 out of 5 star painter, so he will head over and help us.
Oh, awesome! You're welcome, John. We will not at all kick you out.
No, because 29th of September, everything is normal in Sweden, apparently.
Oh, that's right, yes. COVID ends on the...
Yeah,
on the,
it's great that it has a date.
September, no more COVID. Alright guys, thanks for joining us this week. We will be back next Friday. Stay tuned. If you're seeing this on YouTube, we might make a couple of other videos in between now and then. We've been talking about doing some shorter videos just to do a product overview of the stuff we have printed out, discuss maybe some of the things to consider when printing or assembling, and yeah, basically that's it for us. The AlBen hour has come to a conclusion.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye bye.